In the last video, we saw the first part of digestion and the functioning of the digestive system. We followed the path of food from the mouth to the pharynx and from the esophagus to the stomach. In this second part of the video, we will continue to follow the path of food through the intestine. The pylorus, from the Greek guardian of the door, is the muscular sphincter that regulates the passage of food from the stomach to the first part of the small intestine, called the duodenum. At the end of gastric digestion, the pylorus opens and the chyme reaches the duodenum. Represents the initial part of the intestine and is a long C-shaped canal. It has a length of about 25/30 centimeters and has a diameter of 4 centimeters. What happens now? Two other important glands, such as the liver and pancreas, also intervene in the digestive process. The pancreas produces pancreatic juice, a basic solution rich in sodium bicarbonate, which has the task of neutralizing the acidity of the food coming from the stomach. Inside the pancreatic juice there are enzymes, such as pancreatic amylase and pancreatic lipase. The liver produces bile, which serves to emulsify fats and make them more easily attacked by enzymes. The small intestine itself produces enteric juice or intestinal juice, an aqueous solution that contains various digestive enzymes. At this point, the duodenum receives the bile produced by the liver and the pancreatic juice produced by the pancreas. Bile arrives through the common bile duct, also called the colductus. The colductus collects all the biliary tracts and is about 4/5 centimeters long. Arises from the union of the cystic duct, which originates from the gallbladder, and the common hepatic duct, which originates from the liver. The common hepatic duct is formed by the union of the right and left hepatic ducts. The main pancreatic duct is called Wirsung's duct and runs longitudinally through the pancreas. Before ending in the duodenum, the duct of Wirsung joins the colductus and opens through the greater duodenal papilla or ampulla of Vater. However, the latter is controlled by the sphincter of Oddi, a structure composed of smooth muscle fibers. Thanks to its opening and closing, it allows the passage of the bile and its pancreatic into the duodenum. In the fasting phase, the sphincter of Oddi contracts and allows the bile to rise through the cystic duct so that it reaches the gallbladder. Here it will accumulate and be released in the next meal. Then there is also a minor duct, called the accessory pancreatic duct or Santorini duct, which may or may not be functional. It detaches from the main pancreatic duct and flows into the duodenal level through the papilla minor, about 2 centimeters above the ampulla of Vater. Sometimes the two ducts can be independent of each other. In most cases, colductus and main pancreatic duct join before reaching the duodenum, but there may also be anatomical variations. From the mixture between the acid chyme and these secretions, a slightly basic milky liquid rich in nutrients is formed per kilo. The kilo, now reduced to a mixture of easily absorbable nutrients, continues its journey in the intestine. The second part of the small intestine is called jejunum and has an average length of 2.5 meters. In fact, this is the origin of the denomination jejunum, as in cadavers it is often found devoid of content. The mucosa that covers the small intestine is lined with intestinal villi, each of which has tiny protrusions called microvilli. They are in fact positioned like the bristles of a brush and have the task of increasing the exchange surface by absorbing water and nutrients. The kilo, now poor in nutrients because subtracted from the intestinal villi, reaches the third and last part of the small intestine called ileum. It measures from 2 to 4 meters, and its main function is to absorb vitamin B12, bile acids, and possibly products not absorbed by fasting. The chelo continues its path passing through the first section of the large intestine, called the cecum. The muscular sphincter that divides the ileum from the cecum is the ileocecal valve. It has the function of preventing the chelo, once it has entered the cecum, from returning to the ileum. The large intestine has a diameter of 7 centimeters and a length of about 1.70 m, compared to about 7 meters in the small intestine. It has the task of carrying out digestion, which began in the mouth and then continued in the stomach. The transit time of intestinal materials varies from 2 to 7 hours. In this way, the absorption of water and electrolytes takes place, and also of some vitamins produced by the local bacterial flora, such as vitamin B and vitamin K. In addition, the bacteria in the gastrointestinal tract, also called intestinal bacterial flora, promote digestion and ensure the integrity of the intestinal mucosa, protecting it against the invasion of pathogenic bacteria. The walls of the large intestine, lubricated by the mucus, contract to favor the mixing and advancement of their contents. The large intestine also allows the accumulation of non-digestible food waste, which will then be expelled with the feces. However, if the movement of intestinal materials is too slow, it causes constipation because an excessive amount of water is absorbed. On the contrary, if the movement is too fast, it causes diarrhea because little water is absorbed. The chelo then continues through the colon, a hollow organ about 1.5 meters long, divided into ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. The colon deals with the absorption of water, salt, and synthesizing some essential fat-soluble vitamins, starting from waste substances before they are eliminated. The food waste is compacted and pushed towards the rectum through the peristaltic movements. It then passes through the terminal part of the large intestine, about 15 centimeters long, and has the function of temporary storage of feces. When they arrive in the rectum, they put pressure on the rectal walls, where the receptors of the nervous system are located, causing the reflex to defecate, and therefore the urge to go to the toilet is felt. If we are unable to go to the toilet, some of the material inside the rectum is returned to the colon, which will try to absorb more water from the stool. If defecation continues to be postponed, constipation and hard stools occur. The rectum then ends with the anus, where the feces are expelled through voluntary defecation control when we finally find a toilet.